This is Neural Newscast.
Your week in review for Sunday, August 2nd, 2026.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Peter Rowan.
And I'm Isabel Moreno.
Earlier this week, the Middle East saw a sharp escalation in direct military conflict between the United States and Iran.
United States Central Command carried out heavy strikes against dozens of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps targets in southern Iran late Wednesday.
Those strikes were a response to an Iranian missile barrage that targeted American and Saudi forces earlier that day.
President Trump described the military response as decisive, while Iranian state media reported casualties on Qeshm Island, including a 2-year-old child.
The exchange has already impacted global markets, driving oil prices higher as commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz dropped to historic lows.
Marine traffic data indicated that only 14 commercial ships passed through the strait in a 24-hour period, compared to the normal average of over 100.
Amidst the volatility, the White House announced an ambitious 20-point plan for Hamas to disarm and Israeli forces to withdraw from Gaza.
The plan envisions a 350-day disarmament timeline overseen by a newly formed Board of Peace.
While United States officials are optimistic, skepticism remains regarding the willingness of militant groups to surrender heavy weaponry.
Israel remains cautious about the framework, though officials say they were consulted at every step and are not being asked for new concessions.
While the Middle East remains a primary focus, the conflict in Eastern Europe reached new geographic markers this week.
Tehran accused Ukraine of a deadly attack on a commercial vessel in the Caspian Sea, a move targeting supply lines for Iranian drones.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky traveled to Washington for high-stakes talks with President Trump, focusing on the licensed production of Patriot missiles.
This visit coincided with a massive drone swarm launched by Ukraine toward Moscow and the funeral of Senator Lindsey Graham.
Romania also reported several violations of NATO airspace by Russian drones over the Black Sea, prompting the deployment of F-16 fighters.
It seems the geographic scope of these hostilities is expanding, even as diplomatic efforts intensify.
That's Isabel. The administration is balancing the need for stability in the Strait of Hormuz while managing these shifting front lines.
In other news, Poland is investigating reports that a Russian cruise missile entered its airspace during a barrage that killed 8 civilians in Ukraine.
Polish Operational Command says the object disappeared from radar before it could be identified, but a probable impact site was located near the border.
These maritime and border escalations are happening just as diplomatic teams in Washington and Kyiv discuss a potential air ceasefire proposal.
Prime Minister Andy Burnham also hosted Zelensky at a naval base to discuss the Stonecloak electronic jammer project.
This project allows Ukrainian forces to prevent Russia from shooting down their drones using shared British intellectual property.
While these strategic moves are made, the human cost continues to rise, with Russian strikes hitting a supermarket in Chernihiv and apartments in Kyiv.
Moving to the Pacific, Japan is in a race against time following a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Kumamoto.
The tremor, which reached the highest level on the Shindo scale, caused the collapse of the Aeon Mall in Kashima.
At least 13 people were killed, and rescue teams continue to search the wreckage for those unaccounted for at a paper factory in Yatsushiro.
Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has deployed more than 4,000 personnel to the region as aftershocks and extreme heat complicate the recovery.
The industrial impact is significant, with Toyota and Honda suspending operations at several local factories for safety checks.
Meanwhile, Europe is grappling with environmental crises as record-breaking wildfires ravage parts of France and Spain.
President Emmanuel Macron described the blazes in the Gironde region as the toughest the country has seen since World War II.
Over 220,000 people have been displaced in France alone as flames approach the city of Bordeaux.
In Spain, fires west of Madrid remain uncontrolled as temperatures are forecast to soar past 40 degrees Celsius through Sunday.
Climate experts note that Europe is the world's fastest warming continent, with temperatures rising twice as fast as the global average.
Local mayors describe the situation as catastrophic, with 42,000 hectares already burned in the Landes de Gascon forest.
Firefighters are racing to take advantage of brief windows of manageable temperatures before the heat wave returns.
These environmental challenges are coming just as the tech sector sees its own massive shifts.
That's Isabel. In China, the memory chip manufacturer CXMT had a historic debut on the Shanghai star market earlier this week.
Shares surged 470%, bringing the company's valuation to roughly $487 billion.
This massive valuation highlights Beijing's push for technological self-reliance amidst tightening global chip supplies.
Analysts expect price increases for consumer electronics to continue through 2027 as supply remains tight.
Meanwhile, Telegram founder Pavel Durov faces intensifying legal pressure from both Russia and Australia.
Russian authorities charged Durov with aiding terrorism, alleging the platform failed to restrict channels used to coordinate attacks. Simultaneously, Australia's e-safety commissioner is suing the company for failing to remove extremist material related to the Christchurch shootings.
Commissioner Julie Inman Grant says the platform faces fines up to $38 million for maintaining a permissive environment.
The United States government is also signaling a shift in artificial intelligence policy after cybersecurity breaches at OpenAI.
President Trump indicated that his administration may seek more control over AI tools to prevent foreign adversaries from gaining a technological edge.
The administration previously maintained a hands-off approach, but the escalation of hacking capabilities has prompted warnings of potential sanctions.
In a different corner of tech, major United States airlines like Delta and United have banned humanoid robots from all flights.
The ban is due to lithium battery fire risks associated with the increasingly common humanoid and animal-shaped robots.
Turning to international finance, FIFA is reportedly planning to sell stakes in the commercial rights of the World Cup to private investors.
This move by President Gianni Infantino represents a bold strategy to rapidly increase the organization's cash flow.
It could fundamentally change how the commercial side of both the men's and women's tournaments are managed in the future.
While global markets shift, domestic oversight in Washington has reached a boiling point.
Dr. Anthony Fauci appeared before the Senate Homeland Security Committee this week under subpoena.
Fauci invoked his Fifth Amendment rights in response to every question from Senator Rand Paul regarding the origins of the pandemic.
The hearing focused on recently released diary entries, which Senator Paul claims show a disconnect in Fauci's public statements.
The committee is now scheduled to vote next week on a resolution to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress.
Simultaneously, the Department of Homeland Security has sparked a significant debate over election integrity.
Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen alleged that over 250,000 non-citizens were found on voter rolls in 4 states.
State election officials in California, Nevada, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania have pushed back, questioning the methodology used by DHS.
Nevada Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar expressed confusion over how the agency claims to have obtained sensitive voter data.
Experts suggest the agency might be relying on commercial data brokers, which are often prone to high volumes of false positives.
Secretary Mullen warned that the administration will proactively monitor early voting and threatened prison time for non-compliant state officials.
Some fear these unverified numbers will be used to justify warrants to seize ballots and disrupt the vote counting process.
In South America, Peru's Constitutional Court has overturned a 15-year corruption sentence for former President Ollanta Humala.
The court declared the entire criminal proceeding null and void, ruling that campaign funds from Odebrecht did not constitute money laundering.
Humala had been serving his sentence in Lima, but has now been ordered for definitive dismissal of all proceedings.
Peter, this case is part of a much wider scandal that has impacted multiple leaders across the region.
Indeed, Isabel. Finally, we look at the legal resolution of the trial involving UK rapper Young Philly in Western Australia.
A jury found him not guilty of rape, but guilty of assault occasioning bodily harm, following a nightclub performance in 2024.
In cultural news, conductor Dalia Stasevska has released a new project titled Ukrainian Mixtape to highlight neglected composers.
And the art world is remembering legendary artist Betty Saar, who passed away just days before her 100th birthday.
We also saw a significant local effort in Denver, where residents distributed 21 tons of potatoes in 90 minutes to help families in need.
Looking ahead, we'll be watching for the Federal Reserve's next move on interest rates as Chairman Kevin Warsh meets with policymakers.
And the investigation into the Seattle Food Festival shooting continues as police search for a second suspect.
It has been a week of profound consequences across every sector we cover.
This has been Neural Newscast. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com. Thanks for listening.